Hey, welcome to the D&D show, the podcast. I was thinking about different names. It's episode 3, so of course we're still trying to find everything,
Yeah.
like everything about the show, what we do, what we say. I think it'd be a little bit local Chicago stuff, I guess. If we're both in the arts comedy community, we should say something about that. And then just have a normal show about the news, so maybe some current events, and just talk about ourselves. And hopefully there you got a podcast.
How would you categorize this podcast?
I'm hoping our target audience is between 14 and 44.
Yeah, but how do you categorize our genre? What are we covering? Is it just
Comedy. It'd be like a comedy.
comedy.
Just comedy and comedy talk.
We better be pretty funny.
Nah, whatever. Or comedy talk, whatever. It's just entertaining. I hope. I was thinking about...
I just want to call it Podcast with Dan and Drew.
Yes, it's something. Or I don't know. We're working on the name still. Because I was thinking D&D with an and sign, not A-N-D. And then I thought
But that's very Dungeons and Dragons-y.
I know. But then you hope we get some listeners based off that.
Yeah, but they'll immediately turn it off when they realize that we're not talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
But there'd be hope. Well, we're talking about it right now, so. But it's just a play on words, so it's okay.
I've played Dungeons and Dragons once.
Okay. I played it 0 times, but I played Settlers of Catan once.
That's similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm hearing a little bit, so I don't know if I have to back off the mic or not.
Maybe.
But so I was also thinking, because obviously when you send me your emails, your real name's obviously Andrew. So if it was like Dan and Andrew, we could have the N there, so DNA. So we could call ourselves DNA. That's just another another thing we're working at. But
DNA.
So just a thought. So here we are in Chicago. It's still February 2015. Wow, I don't even know what.
17.
It's what?
Today's the 17th.
No, I'm saying it's 2015. It doesn't matter what exact day it is, but February 2015 for those who are listening, not live because they're not going to be listening to it tonight, at least,
No, yeah.
So
unfortunately not.
We were going to record last week, but you got a little crapped out at work. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about how shitty work was.
No, I can't talk about work.
Okay.
Never.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to talk about it. Okay, good. We won't.
I have a pretty good barrier of work and everything
Me
else.
too. I don't even talk about. I mean, if it's during the day, no. This is what I'm trying to do and what I'm here for. And then we won't talk about it. But work sucked last week.
Work stresses me out.
Cool.
That's just how it is.
And you want to elaborate, and that's fine.
Nope.
So let me switch gears to something totally different. So today, in Chicago, basically, I've been here for 5.5 years. The annual rites of passage, if you're an improviser, is there's the Second City general auditions.
Yeah.
So I got to go to the Second City auditions today. And it doesn't matter if you do it or not do it. Sometimes when you feel like you're up or down throughout your whole improv career, I think when you go to the Second City auditions, it's almost like entering the lottery. Like, hey, you know what? It could be a good one today. Who knows?
Yeah, you got to enter to play.
Yeah, and
there's so many things now. They have so many touring crews and musical teams.
And Twisty and Moxie and all that.
It's so fun. I know a couple of people have gone through the Twisty and Moxie programs. They've really enjoyed it, like met lifelong friends.
Yeah.
But those motherfuckers are funny. I've seen some Twisty shows where I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, and I'm not bragging at all, because sometimes you can have the suckiest auditions of all time. I had a really good audition today. I mean, so good where people left and were like patting me on the back and were like, "Man, you killed it today."
Wow.
And I was like,
feeling good.
I've never got a call back from a Second City audition. So, will this be the one? We'll find out on Friday. And for this podcast, maybe you'll find out on the next episode. Well, in 2 episodes, because we record 2 in a row.
I have had auditions where I felt great after them and didn't get callbacks.
Me too.
But I've also had terrible auditions where I've gotten callbacks.
Me too. And you're baffled, like, how, if they called me back after I did that, or maybe maybe it was your fault, maybe it was your partner, I don't know. You couldn't vibe with your partner, and maybe they could see something that you didn't, or that they are just maybe they saw you get a good laugh and that's all they needed. So
I have my feud with Second City. Just one instructor. One instructor did it for me. Just turned me off to the whole place.
A lot of teachers actually can do that. And I'm glad you said that, because we want to keep this in the current events too.
Yeah.
That reminds me, and I saw it literally yesterday. I saw Whiplash. It's up for Best Picture. J.K. Simmons is up for Best Supporting Actor. He should win it. He was amazing. And it's something like that. And in grad school, my professor said, he had a mentor, who helped him through whatever. But he's like, he was a tour mentor. And I like that saying, you know, it's like someone who's trying to see you through, or that is to guide you to get sort of to where you want to be with your goals.
Yeah.
And
not many people have those.
Yeah. And so he's like a tour mentor. So right there with your Second City teacher, with your little feud there, right, you could have a tour mentor, you know?
Man, he called me out in class.
What'd he do? Or she?
It was him, definitely.
I know. Okay.
Oh, man, and I'm not the only person that this guy has berated.
Okay.
I mean, some of my berates are well grounded, and you definitely learn from them. I get that, but man, some people just cross lines and then just keep crossing them just to see what they'll get out of you.
I know that's what that movie was. The same thing, you know. He just wanted to see how far he could push you to see if he could make you better.
Yeah.
But some teachers, right? I think some people get lost in trying to be a genius, like, you know, fellow mentors, you know, fellow teachers, and they can just get lost in why they're doing what they're doing. So God bless you.
I wouldn't mind being a mentor. I mean, I know that in my job, there's some people that are a lot younger than me that I see a lot of myself in them, or things that I would do that they have done. And you know, I've had up some pitfalls along the way.
I've had a million pitfalls along the way. I can't even like, for me, if I get in this Second City thing, it'd be amazing just to make it on a little team, you know, the Twisty or Moxie or something, just to start, because it's like you have so many ups and downs. There's the old Susan Messing up and down chart of improv, and you know, you always feel like crap, or you do good here and there, then you feel like crap again, and it's like to stick it out.
What are you looking to get out of the auditions? Did you go in with anything that you wanted out of them?
Well, I'd say I was the only one there who wasn't signed up. I was on a wait list. Because the signups were like 2 weeks ago.
Hundreds of people do that.
No, like I said, it's the rite of passage as an improviser. Yeah. You know, it's 4 straight days of auditions every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They're seeing, you know, 400 people.
People fly in from all over the country.
I was going to make that point, too. I did in 1999 or 2000, I drove in for it, just for an audition. And I mailed to them, mailed them a letter, and they sent me an audition slot. So actually, I auditioned for this over 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And coming around and doing it all over again.
Yeah.
2015.
So it'd be pretty sweet if they had like a stat sheet on you. Like, oh, look it, he was here in 2000.
From that long ago, it's hard to say nowadays.
Yeah, it'd just be cool if it was like in a computer. Oh, yeah. Like, wow, look at this guy's been sticking around.
Second City owned one of the first computers in the year 2000.
Was it?
Actually, that's way long ago.
Oh, yeah.
There were plenty of computers around then.
No doubt. So whatever, I got to do that audition today. That was good. Saw Whiplash yesterday. That reminded me of that whole mentor thingy.
Yeah.
That's something. That's big old something. And just it's weird, just the ups and downs. I don't know how much to talk about improv to make it an improv geek kind of show. And who are we to, you know?
I mean,
don't listen, you know.
At some point, we're improv geeks. We came and we did it.
No kidding. I'm still doing it. I got so we have a show at the Annoyance once a week. It's on Thursdays. And we got another extension today.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. So we did a show we did back in late 2014, and then we got extended another week. You know, whatever. It was cool that they got extended.
I'm a big fan of the new Annoyance.
Yeah.
I really like it a lot.
Beautiful space.
Really cool. Beautiful. Great location. I mean, that's the location for that. People go to Comedy Sports and Annoyance.
Yep. Right there off the red line, brown line.
Perfect spot.
Perfect spot. And they got a great bar. I would only say, and they're brand new, and they were asking about feedback. We play in the small theater, and beautiful space. We love the small space because my improv group, for 2 years, we practiced in our living room, and so we practiced right on top of each other. So we're playing in this smaller theater at Annoyance, and it's perfect for us. It's like almost like a living room style kind of size kind of theater for us. So it's perfect. We love that. That's why I think we're doing really well performance wise. We need to get more tickets, and we were just talking about that today because we got extended. And they go, we'll extend you for another month.
What do you do to promote your guys?
That's the whole thing. She goes, we'll extend you for another month, but after that, we got to start looking at ticket sales, which is totally fair. And even my friend who's in another sketch show at I.O., and he's in our group, and, you know, he's on a team at I.O. too. He's like, man, I've asked everybody to come to all my shows so many times. I don't know how many times to ask people to come to more of our shows.
Yeah.
Me too. Like, I mean, you can have people come to your show once or twice, but hey, come and pay for my show a third, fourth, fifth time. I mean,
well, this is the improviser's play. You have to pick and choose the shows that you ask your friends to.
Exactly.
And also, your friends are like, we know that you do shows, big whoop, at some point.
Yep.
Until they're like, you hit it, and then everyone's on your coattails, which is the complete opposite of everything else, which I'll probably never enjoy, which I don't know if I would enjoy.
It reminds me, and I was there for the boom of it. For 3033, they're this group. They play the I.O. Just maybe for the fans that don't listen. It was one of my favorite shows. It was 5 guys. They played, and I was going in class in early 2010. One of the guys was in the show, Bill Arnett, and he was a teacher at I.O. So Sundays we'd have class from 3 to 6 or something like that. Or 6 to 9. I forget what the frickin' thing was. But it was enough where we had enough time to go to Lucky's Tavern and get one of those big sandwiches like on Man vs. Food. Then we go back and watch Middle Age Comeback, or it was Craig Euler and whatever they were calling it at that time. But it was Middle Age Comeback, and it was 3033. And it would only be half full. And then somehow it kept, and they were already going for like 2 years at this point. And then suddenly it just hit. For some reason, it just hit sometime in 2010. And it blew up, and for the next 2 years, 3 years, it was just sold out every single week.
Yeah, but I'm sure that they did plenty to make that happen too. I mean, Michael Pizza and that group.
Yes,
great
Thursday.
Example of people that promoted themselves.
No doubt.
They had a ton of people that just like them.
Yeah,
and would love to see those shows.
Yeah, it was Thursday nights, and then they played with the Scene. I think they opened up for the Scene. Is what if I do remember that correctly. They were definitely on Thursday nights.
But you know what I love to see, and it's kind of heartbreaking at the same time, but a really favorite performer of yours that leaves to go west.
Yeah.
There have been a lot. I mean,
I'll tell you
great performers are out west doing trying to make their thing happen.
If we're talking about all improv, this is great. But Brad Morris, there's a guy named Brad Morris. He was on The Reckoning, and I think he did the first Stubbs with Dina Fackless. Doesn't matter if he did or didn't. I would see him. Oh, he was in Uncle Dad. I forget what it was called. It was like Sunday nights. They do it a little bit here and there. He did it with. I'm gonna blank on all these names. 'Cause I have to be on the spot, but
because you don't.
Joe Canale. It was Joe Canale and Brad Morris and a third guy, and I forget what they called it. But it doesn't matter. He was hilarious. And then I'd see him on The Reckoning, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I believe he's on The Reckoning. He didn't play much with them.
When are you moving out west?
When am I moving out west? At some point. I say 2 more years. I'll see what happens I'll reevaluate in 2 years.
Yeah. Would you know where you'd go?
It's L.A. or New York, and I do writing too, and so I got scripts written.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're trying to find a writing, like a literary agent. You're trying to find someone that reads you. You could write some. Who knows how? I heard if you have a Twitter account, you keep active on it, you can get something off that. Maybe 1 or 2 people have done that.
Do you use Twitter?
I do. I've started to use Twitter a lot more.
What do you use it for?
I write jokes. I write comments. I'll repost. I'm gonna try to make it active and not just one trick pony. So I'll say, hey, here's some new stuff, or I'll write a question to somebody, or I'll just make straight up jokes, and I don't care who's reading it, because I assume I had heard at one point 87% of tweets go unread.
Oh, for sure.
I assume most of mine have. I've got some favorited now, but I learned how to use hashtags.
My Twitter account is me like venting on stuff. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Or like tweeting at people that like congressmen do something, and you tweet at that congressman, like attaching like all of the news about what happened.
I wrote to, this is a big deal for me. I watched the Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if you've ever seen Trailer Park Boys.
I've heard about it.
It's a Canadian show. It's like, literally the best Canadian show of all time, or the most popular, or whatever. What minutes are we at here? 8, 9?
10 left.
10 left. We did okay. Yeah. We're knocking 12.
Yeah, we didn't even track it.
Okay, good.
Well,
and
we're doing terrible about keeping to agenda. It's just like scatterbrained.
Oh, I said we sort of do comedy. We talk about Chicago stuff, so we are talking about Chicago-based stuff. And now we're talking about tweeting. We're trying to branch out. So we've taken this center road, and we're going here and there.
Yeah.
Then we're coming back. We're bringing it back to Chicago, so we're doing okay. Trailer Park Boys. I love the show, and there's Corey is one of the guys in it who Ricky craps all over all the time. And I tweeted at him one thing, and he wrote back. And then we had like 2 or 3 or 4 tweets going back. He said, hey, it's just Corey of the Trailer Park Boys. But still, that's the point of Twitter, to instantly communicate to someone and to be able to talk to someone, a fan of who you are or a favorite show that you are.
I've got a really good Twitter story where I tweeted at William Shatner.
Nice.
A notorious Twitter user who does it himself, and he makes sure that he makes it clear that no one else does his Twitter accounts, and he got hacked in some time period a while ago. and it was a big deal. But I tweeted William Shatner. I don't even remember what it was. William Shatner tweeted me back, and I think I took a screen capture of like William Shatner retweeted your tweet or whatever.
I don't know how to do the screen captures on this thing yet. But
yeah,
I'm working on it.
Yeah, Twitter's
yeah
so strange.
Just
so strange to me.
Screenshots. Twitter, I don't like it. I mean, if you use it and you can get a job like that, okay. But where you put, at somebody, then it's in blue. Then you write a couple words. Then it's hashtag with this stuff. Then a couple more words. Then a link. And you're supposed to read this. I can't make sense of what you're reading sometimes. And then there's retweet in there. And it's the most senseless, stupid communication, really. There it is.
It's a strange communication.
I'm not a fan. I wish,
What do you think of Facebook?
Facebook's, I mean, it was fine or is fine. It's pretty cool that you could have high school friends. Oh, here's some music there. Whoa. Jesus. Whoa. What's going on there? Nope, still active. He said he's taping over stuff, but they have it playing. There it is. Gosh. Nice.
Taping over stuff.
That's cool.
Taping over.
We're going to air this episode, no problem. Who cares? 6 people listen to it total by the time 2017 comes around. Nope, now I hear myself in there. Whoops. Wow.
Do you hear yourself a lot better now?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Would you have potted up?
I don't know. It looked like it was half down the entire time.
Yeah, until that music kicked in, I didn't hear it the entire time, so we'll be okay.
We should be.
I'll be gosh darned
until right now.
Yeah.
When you have to when I have to go through and edit there's the time change and do an adjustment of.
Hey, we got 15 golden minutes. We can't screw it up now.
No,
we got to keep this.
It's impossible.
Keep going with it.
It's impossible.
Yeah. But it is sad to see your favorites move west. So Brad Morris moved west, and Andy Sinclair, who was in 33, he moved west.
Yeah.
And that pretty much 33 is still going. But for me, it's like you lost a huge member. It's like usually a great player on the football team, baseball team. You lost Andy Sinclair. It's like oof, tough to replace.
All of Michael Pizza is gone. Yeah. All of Michael Pizza's gone. There's plenty of other people.
Did all of Michael Pizza move?
Yeah,
to LA.
They're all out there.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are they still doing Michael Pizza out there at IO West?
Maybe.
I haven't checked.
I would love to visit IO West.
Yeah, I've never been there.
You know what? It's kind of sad that you don't get. I graduated through IO, went through the program. I did one writing class there.
Okay,
it was all right. I
went through it a couple times.
I felt after a while that I was just the old guy. Not.
If you feel like that,
you didn't fit.
If you feel like that, watch out.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't fit anymore.
Yeah. I always say 90% of them, and this is just my own statistic, but it felt like everybody between 20 and 25, 90% of the people there were 20 to 25, new students just starting. And it is so funny, just in life or there or anywhere, even if you went to a bar and you were between 20 and 25, and you could tell, and I could tell you this, remember you used to go to a bar and you'd see a girl walking and then another girl walking, and they'd see each other and they'd all scream and hug each other. You never see a woman in her 30s do that, or 40s or 50s.
No.
Only these 20-something, these early 20-somethings and maybe late teenagers are doing that too. Just like at, any, not just IO, any improv place. Hey, you're 23 and so am I, and you're drinking a beer, so am I. Let's be best friends. And if you get in the game here, at least here, a little bit older, you're just going there, you're hanging out, you're doing a class, you're trying to get on a team, or you're trying to do a show. But you're not, clicking like you would in your early 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree.
Like all those dudes in 33, they were on a team called People of Earth or something like that.
They all went into it together.
And they knew each other, and they were all friends. But if they had all met each other in their 30s, I guarantee you that no team would have been formed. They probably wouldn't even be friends, because it's just something that when you have to grow up together and go through things together to be close friends. You can't. It's just tough to start in your 30s or 40s.
Also, if we're going to talk a little bit more strategic improv, I think that some of these larger groups are doomed to fail because the smaller groups, they lean on two things. They lean on the individual talents of a select few that really shine, that are just fantastic players. But then their collective, when they come together, they just amplify it and they take it to another level. When you have teams that are 8 or 9 people, that's lost for a good percentage of the everything that I've
Totally agree. We had, at one point our independent improv team that we have and still plays at Annoyance. Last year we were at 9 people. Just sometimes you can't even let go of people, but we went up to 9 people, and then we went down to 7. Then one girl moved, and then we're down to 6, and we're like, wow, 7 seemed like the perfect number. Now we're at 6. We're like, wait, this is great too. It's like 7 for me is the max that you can really do.
Yeah.
And I seen a team at IO, and someone had, some people get boats and move away, or something like that. They don't move away because they come back. So some people just are on a little bit of a hiatus, and they had a couple more people come back, and they keep on the people that they replaced, and the other people come back.
Yeah.
I watched the team; they had 11 people on stage, and if you get an 18-minute set or something like that, how the heck are you? How are you doing a show in 18 minutes with 11 people? I
mean, you don't get to stand out.
Mathematically, that's like a minute 45 each person.
So I think what you need to do is really take advantage of the shows that present themselves. I know a girl that went to Boom Chicago.
Oh yeah,
out in Amsterdam.
Yeah. And
I think that's the kind of risk that you need to take to really set yourself apart.
They had an audition. I've only seen it once in Chicago. It was about 3 years ago. They had the Boom Chicago audition. It was held at Second City.
Yeah.
So right, I mean, it is cool to do it. I don't think you go out. I would say probably you shouldn't fly out to Amsterdam and try to get in there.
No way.
If you're going to do that, just go to Chicago, New York, L.A., and try to get into any of those theaters.
Yeah. The improv group that I would want to learn from is the Groundlings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go study under that. But I don't know how dedicated I am to get back into improv. Music right now is my real focus.
That's cool.
Improvised music. I mean, so it is improv, but just the focus of sound, sonic waves, making your emotions tingle and make your hips move.
I like it. I did music also. I recorded a whole album. Took us like 7 years to make. We got a song on Howard Stern, 3 on the Jay Thomas Show, 10 on a show called Shred and Reagan. It's back home near Buffalo, New York. So
Did
I won't
you
say the
shred?
name. Shred and Reagan.
You shredded Reagan?
Shred and Reagan. Sort of like D&D.
Yeah.
One was Shred, one was Reagan.
Oh, wow.
And they had an afternoon show and a morning show at Flip Flop when we were there. And they would have like the long distance dedication. So is there one chance to play a weird song or a comedy song or an unsigned band song? And 1 minute to go. Wow, we're cruising the way here.
Cruised it.
So we said, what's the show going to be about? And we're trying to say we're going to try to localize it a little bit to give you a little comedy perspective that we're in the trenches here, I guess. And then the other one, I was going to talk about current events, but I guess we talk about Whiplash. But I had only one news story pulled up on my iPhone.
Can you cover a news story in a minute?
I could. I was going to say, or we could do it next episode.
The next episode.
Okay.
Close it out.
Okay, we're doing good here. So, we're doing okay. We're in Chicago. I would say no one's going to hear this, or they're going to, it's not like they're going to stalk anybody. But we're on Irving Park here. Above a bar. We're sitting above a bar.
Why would you say that?
No one's going to do that.
No one's going to... No. That's never going to be heard.
Can I say the bar's name?
No.
Okay, good. Well, we're on Irving Park Road. It's nothing to say.
Yeah,
we're in Chicago. We're in Irving
Park.
The
bar doesn't sponsor the podcast, so we can't mention the bar.
Well, they don't even know.
Well, I mean, we can mention the bar, but I mean, not in a term of...
3 people are going to listen to this.
One person's going to listen to this.
And I was saying, if 3 people listen to it, and there are 3 people that are going to hire us to do a talk show or hire me to do something in Nova Scotia for a talk. Cool. That's all. That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Just
so
more
how would
stuff.
you okay. All right. We'll save that for the next episode.
I will. We will save it. So we're talking about local stuff. We talked about Twitter. So it's sort of geeky stuff. I don't know. I know Twitter's geeky because everyone uses it.
Twitter's.
It's a mainstream communication.
Yeah, but it's considered geeky.
Okay.
Part of geeky culture.
I was gonna say then William Shatner's using it. Brie Olson. She's just a porn star, I guess. She dated Charlie Sheen.
We could go into tangents forever.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't say it's geeky, but the D&D show or DNA or the podcast featuring Dean. We're still working on the title, but I like D&D it's the D&D show on the podcast.
Podcast.